Howdy, 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 my beautiful Capricorn. How are you doing today, darling? My name is SimplyVelca, and today we're going to be getting into your weekly tarot reading this week, Capricorn, for March 2023, or rather the end of March, going into April, all right? So if you do enjoy this tarot reading, Capricorn, be sure to check out your sun, moon, and your rising sign, darling. That's how you make these tarot readings on YouTube work out the best for you, is by catering these general readings to your astrological chart, all right? Capricorn, beware about fake accounts as well. There's a lot of people pretending to be me, darling, but there's only one of me. The only place I do my readings is on my website, one-on-one, SimplyVelca.com. So just beware about that, darling. Don't be getting scammed out there. I'm Capricorn. But let's get into your tarot reading. I already have your Celtic cross laid out here, Capricorn, and I'm going to tell you the initial predictions that I see here, where your journey is, so you'll know if this is your tarot story right off the bat or not. At this current point in time, Capricorn, where I see this Capricorn here, you recently were dealt with a pain. This is straight up just a social tarot reading. My regulars know I don't usually like to just focus in on relationships. Could be platonic, romantic, family, business, what have you, but it is definitely some type of person or persons. I feel like for many Capricorns in here, it's like multiple people. There's the disappointment, you notice some shadiness going on here, and then you're at this point of where maybe you may not have initial proof, but I feel like you either started catching wind of gossip, maybe some body language shifted. There's some shadiness overall with some type of relationship, and you're at this point where like the thought of this relationship just doesn't make you feel good, right? When you think about that aunt, when you think about that one person in the friend group, and it just makes you feel yucky or drained, like you're at this point now at this crossroads of being like, all right, do I choose to go a solo path, or do I choose to kind of like ride this out here? And I feel like for you, this Capricorn here, if they choose to go into a new path, you're going to quickly be getting into connection with a very powerful a very powerful spiritual connection here. Now, this could easily be, I do see the potential in like a twin flame or a soulmate type of thing here, or someone in your soul tribe. But I want to give the disclaimer as well, Capricorn, is that with this relationship here, it does not have to be romantic, all right? It could be like your next best friend, the next thing, beautiful work connection, stuff like that. So don't just, when I say relationships, I just mean a human relationship in your life, right? Not just romance, because I know some people just don't really have that developed of a view when it comes to human relationships. We're not always trying to be screwing the people that we connect to, right? I mean, at least I'm not. So if this sounds like your story, darling, keep on watching here. Let's get into your first oracle card for the overall reading this week here, and this is Hollow Bone, number 1 in numerology. So look that up at a later point in time, Capricorn. See what messages the number 1 has. It's associated with the Magician, but the Hollow Bone, teachability here, Capricorn. And so what I feel like has been happening in your life is that you're realizing that someone is not being able to be taught. I feel like with this situation here, like whatever brought you pain or just some disappointment in your life, and like maybe disappointed in someone's actions or what have you, like it was like the final time that you could really give them a chance, because I feel like this is not the first time that you've given this person a chance here. You're just like, all right, this person is not willing to learn. It's like they apologize, but they still keep on doing the same BS, right? But then there's still that part of you, Capricorn, where you're just like, oh, what if I give them, maybe they can be taught. I feel like no, they just can't be taught here, right? And so let's get into your Celtic cross tarot reading here, Capricorn. So right off the bat, in your current situation, you have the 2 of Swords, and in your challenged position, you have the 3 of Swords, all right? And so, that's the crossroads here. Something I want to be pointing out for you, Capricorn, so tab into this video if you have me tabbed out. Look at the illustration here, Capricorn, right? This is who you are. You're at a crossroads, right? Do you choose to follow your heart, or do you choose to follow your mind, right? And so the thing about this is that this person is being blindfolded by 2 crows. Now in this tarot deck, the Light Seers Tarot deck, the crows represents swords. And so it's like the sword air energy is like your internal thoughts and stuff, right? And so this is like someone choosing to be blind to a situation while making their decision. So it's like, for example, Capricorn, like we've all had that one friend, honey, where it's just like they go back and forth with their ex. First they're next, then they're not. That one friend that just is always back and forth, with their relationship or with their job. They come to you one week and they're like, oh, Capricorn, I hate my job. And then the next week it's the very opposite here. And so Capricorn, what I see with this situation here is that you kind of just need to see a situation for what it is and calling a spade a spade. You know, you might see the potential in somebody, but they're just not living up to it. And just because you can see the potential doesn't mean anyone can. You know, we can see the potential in all of us. Like all of us have a lot of potential, but do we live up to it all the time? No. You know, I can at least confidently say that I'm not fully tapped into my potential when I do these tarot readings. You know, I could be doing so much more. I could make these videos an hour long, you know, type of thing. Like I could be going all in, posting 20 videos a week or a day. And, you know, and I feel like you need to hear that perspective where it's just like, just because you can squint hard enough, just because you can wear some red sunglasses so you don't see the red flags because nothing, you know, it's all blended together, doesn't mean it's not actually there. And so for some of you Capricorns, you might be wanting to just keep things as it is because you're just like, you know what, my heart is telling me, you know, soft spot for them, you know, maybe you don't want to be alone, you know, whatever the case is. But that Three of Swords happened for a reason. This wasn't a mistake. This, you know, whatever happened, like it was an insult to you. And like, no, I think it's just time for you to move on. But not, you know, you're not here to worry about my thoughts here. Now, I will be saying, Capricorn, the zodiac signs that come out so strongly just seems to be air signs. All right, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So maybe you're dealing with an air sign, or maybe you have air sign in your chart. If that's the case for your big three, check out those videos as well. Right, and your focus position right now, Capricorn, you actually got two cards, which was the Knight of Swords as well as the King of Pentacles. Right, so two different court cards. You have a lot of court cards in this reading, which is why I know this is more so a social tarot reading for you. But in your focus right now, Capricorn, is that you're wanting to attract much more mature people in your life. I feel like you're kind of at a point in time where you realize you have really outgrown certain people, or really I feel like you're tired of having to be the adult in the situation, and not as if like you want to be a child, but it's like you're so tired of being the one that is like the responsible one while everyone else is still trying to mature and all this. It's like you want to be, I feel like you're really wanting to attract people in your life that are like you see them as your equal, financially, mentally, emotionally. Like you're kind of just tired of always just being around people that are still needing to mature. And so I feel like that is actually happening for you. All right. It is actually happening for you, but you're not going to be finding that if you choose to stay in the same path here. There is this definite need for you to be making a choice and be like, all right, you know, these are my boundaries when it comes to relationships. If you cross that boundary, you are no longer welcomed in my space. But you have to make the decision first to commit to that. All right. We are constantly teaching the world around us and the people around us how to treat us. And you can't raise your standard of person that you allow in your life if behind that boundary, behind the gates, darling, you have a bunch of fools that shouldn't even be there in the first place. It's like putting up a no shirt, no shoes, no service type of sign, but it's already too late because you have a bunch of people that are running around naked in your restaurant. And it's just like, girl, what good is that sign going to do? Because people are just going to be seeing from the inside and see a bunch of naked people and be like, oh, let me rip off my clothes and, you know, have my titties be fine, my ding dong going, right? It just isn't realistic. And so I feel like you kind of have to just not be afraid of coming off as a bitch, you know, and to really make the choice and being like, all right, what type of person do I want to be surrounded by, right? In your past, you have the Seven of Wands, Capricorn. And so I feel like this is heavily speaking to my Capricorns that are like leaving like a group dynamic. So like family group, friend group. If this is romantic, this is definitely reading off to me where it's just like more than one person, like a third party type of situation there. But this is kind of like what you need to leave in the past. Is like, I really do feel like there's a lot of different people that you do need to leave. If you even notice with the Seven of Wands, each of these wands are a different color. So it's not just like one specific person in your life. It's like a multitude of things where you have to look at each facet of your life, in your career, your work environment, in your social life, in your, you know, if you're in a gaming community or, you know, what have you. There's a lot of people that have slipped through the cracks that you need to cut yourself off from so you can welcome in the type of people that you actually want. Now, what is possible for you is this King of Cups, all right? When I say like all your cards so far, darling, include people, you know? So the King of Cups is possible for you. So your spiritual team is saying that what you're wanting emotionally out of people, you're wanting people to be like perhaps like more emotionally available. I feel like that's like the main, if I were to say for you, Capricorn, like the two things that you really want in a person, is these two kings here. Well, actually, you have three kings in your tarot reading. You have three kings here. So, like, you'll notice here where all, you know, the kings exude that mature energy. They've gone through their puberty, honey, and they're full-fledged person. So it's like you're really wanting someone that is like emotionally mature, stable in their life, or figuring things out. Like they have a goal. They have goals, passions, aspirations, and you just want someone who is just intelligent. I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to say that you're surrounded by a bunch of dumbasses, but I'm also not saying that you're not. Anyways, what I can be telling you here, Capricorn, is that it's very possible for you to, the type of person that you're wanting to attract is very possible. Very, very possible. Very, very doable for you. But, you know, again, there is just like this sense of like really needing to commit to the detachment. You got to make the space here. You know, there's the quote of show me your five closest friends and I'll tell you your future type of thing here, you know, and I feel like it's time for you to really evaluate the five people that you spend the most time with. All right. Now, in your near future, you have the Lovers card. Now, I know, Capricorn, before we even say it's just like, Velca, this is love, you know. It's not. I know. I know this is probably going to be a rude wake up call for many tarot people who take in tarot readings and are not used to my readings. They're going to be like, wow, I've never seen a tarot reader that tries to go avoid the cup subject of love so much. Honey, that's just not for me, you know. But anyways, the Lovers card, what you see with the Lovers is that you can take it in the literal sense where it's just like quite literally, you know, for some of you Capricorns, that is your story, like a new actual good relationship with someone who's actually emotionally available for you, right? Where you're not the one having to take care of your partner. But, you know, the Lovers card to me, I feel like just really exudes like intimacy, like someone that like, you know, you're close, like what makes a best friend is the best friend that has seen all sides of you, the cute side, the ugly side, you know, all sides of you, and they still love you. They are part of your close circle of people. And so that's what I see that Lovers as personally. You know, you all could be saying like, all right, Velga, you're pulling strings here, grasping at strings, but I really do feel that's the case because you don't really have romantic cards here otherwise, or what's seen as romantic. I have a sneeze, honey. I've been needing to sneeze like all day. Anyways, here. All right. So if you have been having that fear, like I don't want you to make the decision of choosing to settle and deal with the types of people that you have been dealing with, Capricorn, out of fear for not being able to find some people better, because it's very possible for you. All right. In your power position, you have the High Priestess here, Capricorn. So I feel like for you, what you need to hear is that, you know, like you are able to see things, Capricorn, right? You know, open your eyes. But no, you are able to see, it's like you are able to see the red flags, but then you start psyching yourself out or gaslighting yourself and be like, oh no, those aren't actually red flags. Trust your intuition more, Capricorn. Like you have a good read on the people that are in your life right now. You have a good read on the situation. This is not you going through like a spiritual psychosis or having a manic episode. It's like, no, you see the situation for what it is. Trust your intuition at this time. Like, don't gaslight yourself, right? In your current situation right now, Page of Wands. So this is very much so a situation for you, Capricorn, where it's like you kind of need to make the decision now. All right, because if you make the decision now, right now you have this new energy sitting here, right? Pages represents new energy overall, Capricorn. Page of Wands is like new wands energy, like new passions, new opportunities, new connections, right? And so if you were to make the choice now and trusting your intuition and choosing to just go the new path, you would very quickly run into King of Swords. This is in your hopes and your fears. You know, this is again the same sense of like wanting to connect with somebody, Capricorn, that is just mature, that sees things the same way that you do, you know, the same political beliefs, you know, the same spiritual beliefs, what have you. All right. And it's very possible for you, Capricorn. All right. And the connections that I see coming in here is, you know, the outcome is the Ace of Wands. You know, this is as a tarot reader, you'll see this is a card of lust, but it's just strong attraction overall, Capricorn. Like this is a situation where it's like on both sides. Because I feel like on some level, Capricorn, like what might make you a little bit more, this is cynical, is that the word I'm looking for? A little bit more cynical, or not wanting to get your hopes up with new connections, is that the people that you want to connect to, you might feel like they're out of your league, or I don't know, like I feel like you're just so used to one-sided types of relationships in your life where you're always the one communicating and reaching out to your friends. You're putting in all this effort, but it's never like mutual. It's very like, this is very mutual types of desire of wanting to connect with one another, or at least that's how I see that as, Capricorn. All right. So that's what I see for you this week here, darling. Let's get into your oracle reading for today, and then I'll let you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, darling. So Capricorn, first card we have here is the humpback whale. All right, music is essential to your healing and well-being. So whether that is singing, playing an instrument, or just listening, darling. All right, let's get a tarot card associated with that as well. Four of Wands. Okay, so I see this as, and notice how this card as well is even dancing. Capricorn, this is going to be very specific, but I feel like if you're trying to bring in these new connections here, you need to go out. All right, you need to go out. I don't feel like this is, I feel like how you end up connecting with them, if you don't go out, like I don't see you meeting this person on, these people on apps. You could be meeting them online in like a community sense. Maybe you guys connect and bond in like the same type of, you know, maybe spiritual communities, gaming communities, or something like that. But if it's in the outside world, I see it in a place of like, you know, dancing at a club together, or, you know, doing something that it just is like a release of energy. So it could be like walking the park. It's like some type of activity. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel like you cross paths with these energies that I keep on seeing for you. All right. And then your moon oracle card for today is the full moon in Leo, darling. Go wild, go stupid, go crazy. But I mean, this is very fitting, right? Very fitting for a go wild. You have the Four of Wands, the humpback whale, all these cards talking about dancing and stuff and just like free expression. So it's just, yeah, in some type of way, put yourself in situations where maybe you're not being an extrovert, but you're actively doing something that you feel passionate about, that's like fun for you, that exudes a little bit of your own vulnerability because of just like how good and fun it feels for you. Does that make sense? So that's the weekly tarot reading that I have for you, my beautiful Capricorn. Hopefully something in here resonated with you, darling. If it did, you already know what to be doing. By the way, my good friend Menopond Tarot, you probably seen his tarot readings or his videos at some point, but he has a newsletter that he just launched, and I have a link to it down below, winningpond.com. It's a beautiful spiritual newsletter that really will help motivate you and transform your life, and it's free. So check it out if you want to. But until next time, my beautiful Capricorn, I'll see you later, darling. All right? Bye.